This video is a compilation of some stuff that I got off my website. I made an article on my website about this repair that I did. It was back in the fall of 2012, so it's been about 11 years. I met this guy at Foggy Hollow down in Alabama at a bluegrass festival and gave him a card, and he contacted me a little later on. I think he lived in North Carolina somewhere. His name was Dewey. I can't remember his last name, but doesn't matter. He had an old Martin that he wanted me to look at and see if I could fix, and it had a lot of sentimental value to him. It had belonged to a friend of his that died, and his friend's wife and children gave Dewey this guitar, and it needed some work done on it, and he was really attached to it, and he wanted to see if I thought I could fix it. So he sent it UPS to me, and I got it, and I repaired the guitar for him. And this video is going to kind of detail what I did for it. We just have some pictures of what I did, but maybe you can follow along with what I'm doing on this. First one is a picture of the way it came into me, and something that was evident at the beginning was some cracks on the back corner of the top, and they were in a bad place to get to. But I called Dewey after I'd checked this thing and told him that I wasn't interested in doing any repairs that involved refinishing work, and he said if I'd just stabilize these cracks and cleat them and so forth, that'd be fine. So that's what I did. And here's a picture that shows a straight edge laying down across right behind the sound hole, and you can see how bad the top was sunk down in front of the bridge. It wasn't in tune when I didn't have strings on it when I got it, so we strung it up, and it immediately the top sunk down badly. Here's a shot of a measuring device across the straight edge. It looks like it's got about a half inch, down about a half inch according to that straight edge. And this next picture shows another straight edge laid down in front of the bridge, and you can see how much of a sag it had in it. You could I don't know, it's probably a 1/16 of an inch sag on that 6 inches across there. And here's a shot of the top, the way it was distorted. It was pulled up behind the bridge naturally and sunk down in front of the bridge. Now, here's a shot of a straight edge going from the front of the guitar to the back, and it kind of shows how the whole area around the sound hole was sunk down. This picture shows with a mirror. I made it with a mirror down in the guitar, and it shows the front of one of the X braces. As you can see, I got a little feeler gauge that I used to check the braces with, and it was loose up to about the end. And so I decided that what I needed to do, I didn't want to take the top off or the back off this guitar. these old HD35s had a special sound to them, and I didn't want to do anything to mess with that. But here's a picture of the inside of the guitar, and it shows after I started removing the braces. I decided to remove the braces, the X braces, and the little popsicle braces around the sound hole, and try to replace them through the sound hole, and not take the back or the top off of it. And that's a pretty big ask to do that. Here's a shot of the guitar with the bridge removed. I heated it and removed it. So here's a shot of the bridge that came off of it, and the bridge plate, and one of the popsicle braces that was around the top. I used a homemade tool that I heat up and put on the bridge plate and heat it up and get it out of there. Here's a shot of the braces, the X braces that came out of there. And as you can see, if you look there at the bottom edge of the pick guard as the guitar is laying there, you can see that the grain is not running straight across, but it's running at an angle, and that decreases the strength of it by a big factor. Now here's this first shot here is after I'd glued the braces back together just to see how they looked, and there's a slot where the braces cross, and it's supposed to fit pretty tight. Here's a shot of the bridge plate that came out of it and the X braces together. But this next shot, these next 2 or 3 shots here, show the problem that created this most of this trouble in the beginning. For some reason, a D35 has 1/4 inch wide X braces. A D28 and a D18 and D45 and all those guitars have 5/16 braces in them. But somehow or another, at the Martin Company, someone cut a slot for a D28 or a 5/16 brace and these little 1/4 inch braces, and that left a big wide place between where they fit together. Here's a shot of one of the braces laid up against a straight edge, and you can see the daylight under it. And here are the 2 X braces laid together, and you can see how much they were bent. So this shot here has got the piece of plastic on top of it, and this shows where we were gluing some cleats in the very back of the guitar where those cracks were, just to stabilize them. Next, here's a shot of the X braces that I made. I had some red spruce around here that was split out, not sawed. I split it myself. It follows the grain straight. And I made 2 X braces from this wood and made a joint where the X's cross. And there's a couple of pictures of where my braces join each other. If you notice that there's not a space in there, and I don't use cloth, I don't think that cloth does anything. And the next shot is you see the X braces put together on the outside of the top. Of course, they're not flipped over; they'd be flipped over. But in order to to get the braces in that sound hole, you've got to cut them a little shorter. And I debated about that. This is the first guitar I believe I ever did this to. Traditionally, they try to put those braces up under the linings, but them being tucked under the linings didn't help this situation. So I decided that in order to do this through the sound hole, I just had to shorten the braces. There's just a certain length you can put in there where it'll go inside the body. So we made them a little shorter. They didn't come out all the way to the edge of the linings, and we got the braces glued in there. Here's a shot of the of a straight edge across the top behind the pick guard, and you can see that it's standing up there like it should be now. And there's another shot of the after we put the X braces in there, the way the contour of the top is. It's supposed to have a little bit of bulge in it instead of being sunk down. And let's see, here's a shot of the my clear acrylic caul, and I fabricated a bridge plate from some hard maple, and about 100,000ths of an inch thick, and that caul on the outside helps to shape the top back up, keep it straight. And so here's my little plastic piece that I designed to cut around and attach the bridge, and locate the bridge in the right place, clean the old finish off underneath where the bridge was going, and here's my clamping procedure to clamp the new bridge on there. And that pretty well got it put back together. Now there were about 6 frets on the neck that were badly worn, and so I installed 6 frets in it and leveled and crowned them and polished them and crowned and polished the entire fingerboard. And this guitar, here's a shot of the same straight edge in front of the bridge. As you can see, it's not sunk down anymore. I was very happy with the way this turned out. The top has got a little arch in it. As you can see in these couple of shots, here's a shot of the same straight edge from front to back, and you can see how much difference it made. So that pretty well details this repair job. I hadn't heard from Dewey. That's been 11 years. I'm assuming it's still doing very well. That's the guitar, sounded mighty good. HD35 is about my favorite Martin. That they've just got a real booming sound to them. So I hope that explains this repair. Hope it'll be something that you'll be interested in watching.